What if my landlord refuses to give back my security deposit? What do I do?
Well, that's a common question too. We had a case like this, and we very rarely go into limited jurisdiction. So the court system is organized still. There's small claims, which is 10,000 and below. There's limited, which is 10 to 25, and then there's superior, which is 25,000 and over. And in the nearly 11 years that I've been practicing law, I think we've been in limited twice. And usually we just say, hey, look, work it out with them. It's not really a place where we put a lot of our time and energy. But this tenant came to us, and he had a good case. It was a commercial tenant, and he said, look, I had I think it was $12,000 deposit with this guy, and it was 2 years ago the lease ended. He's not paid me back. So I'm like, all right, well, let's send him a letter. So we sent him a letter, and the landlord came back with all this stuff, which amounted to a bunch of nonsense. And he said, well, here's $2,000. I said, and the tenant's like, well, I don't want the $2,000. So long story short, went back and forth, back and forth. The landlord eventually got up to $10,000. And our tenant, to his credit, he said, I shouldn't have to, he shouldn't keep $1. Like, I literally left the place in perfect condition under the lease, So after a while, we filed a lawsuit. And the bottom, the end of the story is about a month after we filed the lawsuit, the landlord ended up paying all the security deposit, which I think again was $12,000 or $14,000, all of our attorney's fees, 3 years of interest at 10% a year, and all the costs. So it's a feel-good case for us on the law side. We're like, yeah, But from a landlord side, it's a very good lesson because at the end of the day, he ended up paying about double, 12 versus 24,000, because of just really sort of bullheadedness and intransigence. I mean, we laid the law out to him, and the facts were clear. But fortunately, actually, I commend his attorney, because probably after he started getting his attorney's bills, the attorney's like, well, I'm not going to work for free. And and anybody said, what do you recommend? He's like, I recommend you pay him, because the statutes are very clear what the penalties are, and there really was no real reasonable argument in opposition.